This is your WLAK Daily News Roundup for Lake Air, 107.5 FM and 1260 AM in Amory.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. A former Milwaukee election official is found guilty of election fraud. A jury says Kimberly Zapata used fake names to get a hold of military absentee ballots. Her lawyer argued she was trying to make a point about flaws in the election system. Zapata could get up to 5 years in prison. Today is the last day for parties in the Robin Vos recall case to make their arguments to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The Wisconsin Elections Commission is asking justices whether a recall would be held in Voss's old district or his new redrawn district. Meanwhile, the Racine County DA is looking into complaints of forged petition signatures. A polarizing figure from the Kenosha riots of 2020 is invited to speak at Kent State University in Ohio. Students and alumni are split about Kyle Rittenhouse coming to campus, including Hunter Chenevy.
I like the idea that a public university like Kent State has this diverse opinions being represented and coming onto campus. Now, whether or not those opinions are appropriate or not, I think that's up for debate.
Ali Greco is a student who wants to keep him off the Kent State University campus.
Passed with violence, having it on campus is going against Kent State's mission, which includes ethical and humanitarian values in the service of Ohio and the global community. And this is not ethical, and this does not promote those values at all.
Rittenhouse killed 2 people. 4 students were shot to death at Kent State in 1970. Wisconsin farmers need rain. The U.S. Agriculture Department expects farm income to go down 25% this year. The agency blames higher costs and drought conditions in Wisconsin and other Midwestern states. Governor Evers says he's proud of what he's done to improve mental health care for everyone from teenagers to farmers in Wisconsin. He declared last year the Year of Mental Health, but he only got about 10% of what he asked lawmakers for in the state budget.
Those are all good wins, but the fact of the matter is that I asked for $500 million, and, we could do the math, and it came nothing close to that.
More with Evers on the Empowered Caregiver this weekend on Civic Media. The Wisconsin Historical Society is taking over an historic theater in Baraboo. The Al Ringling Theater will become an extension of Circus World. It'll continue to serve as a home for local and regional performing arts. The Al Ringling Theater was built in 1915. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now, here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly. A Duluth man has been charged after allegedly sexually assaulting a woman in the Skywalk system. According to court documents, 71-year-old Adrian Tremaine Green Sr. was charged with first, second, and third-degree criminal sexual conduct. The victim allegedly approached Green asking if he had any money. He told her he could take money out of an ATM for her and then began making threatening remarks before sexually assaulting her. The victim called the police following the incident, who found and arrested Green. St. Louis County officials are promoting property tax refund programs for residents. According to a Northern News Now report, officials say nearly a third of Arrowhead residents qualified for a property tax refund in 2021. There are 2 programs, the regular homestead credit and the special homestead credit. Those with a household income of less than $135,000 qualify for the regular credit. The special credit is open to properties that had a tax increase of over 12% in the last year. The Duluth City Council will introduce a resolution calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. The move comes following pressure from the community to introduce the resolution, joining a number of other city councils across the country calling for an end to the violence in the region. The City Council is scheduled to discuss the resolution at Thursday's agenda session, and a vote on it could come as soon as next week. The resolution was sponsored by Azrin Awal, Wendy Derwachter, and Mike Mayu. School resource officers are expected to return to St. Louis County schools in the near future. According to a Northern News Now report, an adjustment regarding the ability of school resource officers to use reasonable force was signed into law last week, which has quelled fears from the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office that forced them to pause the school resource officer program. The new law requires additional training for school resource officers, so they likely won't be returning to schools until next school year. A large building in downtown Duluth has been listed for sale. According to a Fox 21 report, it's the second time the 11-story building on the 400 block of West Superior Street has been listed for sale in the last few years. It was originally built in 2016, and ASNA PropCo purchased it in 2021 for $15 million. Now it's being sold again with a 2023 valuation by the county at about $28.5 million. Officials have not said if there are any potential buyers lined up for the property already. The Superior School Board has finalized its decision to lay off 25 teachers this year. At their Monday night meeting, the layoffs got their final approval, and final notices will be going out to the teachers who have been laid off this week. School officials cited declining enrollment and the expiration of pandemic-era funding as the main reasons for the layoffs have become necessary. Rising inflation also played a role in the decision. A number of other districts in Wisconsin have faced similar problems with enrollment and funding. One Prevea clinic in the Chippewa Valley may remain open thanks to Rusk County. Officials say the county is working to buy the Prevea clinic in Ladysmith from HSHS, which it plans to rent out to Oakleaf Medical Network. The clinic is slated to close in about a month, along with a number of other facilities and 2 hospitals. Oakleaf Medical Network has been exploring the possibility of turning the 2 hospital properties in Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls, which will close this week, into independent community hospitals. Ashland residents are coming together in an effort to save Northland College. The school announced last week that it needs $12 million by April 3rd, or it would be forced to close at the end of the spring semester. The Ashland Parks and Recreation Department is hosting a party and fundraiser for the college on Friday, with the entry fees going to Northland College. The fundraisers will have carnival games, a silent auction, and food. It will be free for students and faculty to attend, and $5 for everyone else. And that's what you need to know. For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly.
Baseball tonight. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Spring training, the Brewers host the Giants tonight in Arizona. Brewers manager Pat Murphy asked, what does he need to see improve before the start of the season in New York a week from today?
We've got to play a little better offense, not just hit better. We got to play offense better. We're capable of base running. We're capable of doing the little things. We're capable of good ball strike. We're capable of a lot of things that maybe we haven't got to our full potential yet. We've added a few guys that are special. Rhys Hoskins comes to mind. This guy's a pro.
NBA, the Bucks losing in Boston to the Celtics 122-119. Giannis out again with a sore hamstring, though Doc Rivers says the Bucks committed several mental errors.
We had some bad ones tonight, and so we'll watch it, we'll see it, do what you're supposed to do, move the ball, keep playing, and it works out for you. And I thought the best part of the fourth quarter, I thought we trusted that, and that's what happened.
That's Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. MGM Plus is announcing a new Peaky Blinders-style series from Narcos creator Chris Brancato. Deadline reports the show will be set in New York City and deal with fearsome Irish gangs, as opposed to jovial Irish gangs. The project is in development with release info to follow. There is a new James Bond, and he is 33-year-old Aaron Taylor Johnson. I know what you're thinking. How can that be? They killed off 007 in the last film. That is true, Bond fans, but sometimes an actor is just so good-looking you have to resurrect the entire franchise to get him on the screen. The formal offer from Bond production company EON is on the table, and they are waiting to hear back. I already don't like this guy. What's he waiting for? It's the role of James Bond. How did they even have time to get a press release out before he accepted? If you're a young actor and you've been offered the role of James Bond, don't let your people play games. Sign so fast you pull a hammy. EON is hoping to have a new film in production later this year. Life is a gamble, especially when you gamble. Last week, News Nation reported that Bruno Mars owed $50 million to MGM Resorts from gambling debts. Mars is under contract with MGM where he makes $1.5 million a night, which means if the rumors are true, it's going to take him 5 weeks to pay off that $50 million. MGM went on the record saying they are proud of the relationship they have with Mars, who is one of the world's most thrilling and dynamic performers, and a guy you definitely want at your poker table. Fans of the royal family continue to be concerned about the well-being of Kate Middleton. Rest easy, the New York Post reports that Middleton's professional lookalike, 43-year-old Heidi Agan, is finally speaking to the media. Agan, who has impersonated Kate since 2012 at parties and meet and greets, says recent photos of William and Kate are legitimate. She says it is not her in the photos, as some have claimed. I mean, if you can't believe an impersonator lookalike, who can you believe? In a related story, Prince William was seen with Elvis. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live, masked singer judge and former Playboy playmate Jenny McCarthy talked about why she didn't take part in 2021's Secrets of Playboy documentary. McCarthy says her time at the mansion was not a pleasant experience, saying there were lots of pretty girls and lots of ugly dudes over 70. McCarthy said it was like Viagra Central as she saw lots of gross celebrities having sex. That sounds almost as unsettling as watching an episode of The Masked Singer. Speaking of Viagra and gross sex, the unholy union of Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels is back in the news thanks to a new documentary called Stormy. In the film, Daniels claimed she received death threats after the story of her tryst with Donald Trump went public. Trump denied the affair ever took place, which is strange because he rarely denies anything. Stormy is available to stream on Peacock, so grab some popcorn and gather the whole family around the TV. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 7 and 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We have a winter weather advisory in effect for tonight. We could get around 3 to 5 or 6 inches of snow tonight through early tomorrow morning, with snow ending by mid-morning on Friday. Today, cloudy, 35, snow tonight, 26. Snow ending tomorrow with more snow and rain on the way late weekend into early next week. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 20.
That's your WLAK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lakeair.radio.